Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Jonathan's Room, where Northern rules and Normandy rules. I don't know about you guys, but I've always wondered how come Judge Judy, Judge Marilyn, the judges from Hot Bench don't let their litigants approach their bench. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I know why. And a classic example of one of the episodes of Caso Cerrado I watched last night. This case was very interesting in the least because it involved a father and his daughter, his baby mama, and his daughter's stepfather. Now, this case is so convoluted that at first it didn't make sense. But once you start getting into it, you begin to understand the aspects of the case. So let's start with the plaintiff, who was Michael. I'm not going to get into his wife's name. I'm not going to get into his stepfather's name. And for his daughter's protection, I will not really reveal her name either. The reason why I'm not going to reveal his mother's name or her mother's name is because she's evil. She's not a good person. Now, I'm not the one to normally judge, to normally say that people are not good people, to be that person. But in this case, I'm going to hold judgment against her. And I'll get into that. I'll get into the reason why. But the judge of Caso Cerrado's name is Dr. Ana Polo. And I've been watching Caso Cerrado for a long time. And a lot of you know that I'm a huge Judge Judy fan. I avidly watch The People's Court. I avidly watch Hot Bench. So for this case to answer my question, why the litigants are not allowed to approach the bench, just justifies why they do it. So the case is that Michael wanted time to spend with his daughter. Her mother said that he didn't want anything to do with her. Of course, when she got pregnant with Michael's daughter, he was 17. She was 34. So naturally, because he was 17, he didn't want anything to do with the daughter. However, when he got a little bit older, then yes, he wanted to get more involved in her life. So, she had given him a key to the apartment, and he went into the apartment. She was already married to another guy, and this guy was his daughter's stepfather. He goes in, and her stepfather is giving her a bath. And he sees him, and she's 4 years old at the time, kissing on her inappropriately, touching her in places inappropriately, and he loses it. Somehow or another, he's the one who gets attacked, and he goes to the hospital. After he gets out of the hospital, he finds a gun, and he goes after the stepfather. He shoots the stepfather 4 times, thinking that he killed him. Gets thrown in jail for 10 years. The stepfather survives the shooting, but uh, he continues to live with the mother and his stepdaughter. Anyway, Michael gets out of jail, and confronts his daughter, who's 16, and says, "Hey, look, I'm your dad." And she goes, "No, you're not my dad. I don't know who you are. My stepfather's my father." And they said that my dad was thrown in jail for molesting me. And Michael goes, "What?" So that's when he decides that he's going to take him to court so he can visit his daughter, so he can get the rights to visit his daughter. Because the baby mama ain't going to let him go see his daughter, because supposedly he molested her. Okie dokie. That's the basis of the case. Now, this is where I say that this woman is an evil woman. Because she told her daughter that Michael had molested her when he hadn't. And she told her that's why he was in jail. She chose her husband's side against her own daughter, against her father. And like Doctora Ana Polo told her, he is her father. It takes 2 to make a baby. He might not have wanted anything to do with her because he was 17 and she was 34. But now, he's trying to do his best to protect her from a stepfather who, to this day, was still molesting her daughter. And she knew about it. She knew about it, and she didn't do anything about it. Anyway, this is where it gets interesting. Because they called the stepfather in, and the stepfather attacks the witnesses. And Dr. Anapololo goes up, and she goes, "What's wrong with you?" Because one of the witnesses was a 16-year-old boy. She goes, "What's wrong with you? Why are you attacking a 16-year-old boy?" And that is when Michael goes up behind her and grabs her. He doesn't threaten her life. He doesn't say that he's going to kill her. He's made a fake makeshift shiv out of a paperclip. Now, when somebody grabs you and you don't know what's going on, something like that can be extremely scary. It can feel like a knife to you. It can feel like something life-threatening. I have a funny feeling in the back of her mind that Doctora Ana Polo probably knew that Michael wasn't going to hurt her, but at that time, she didn't understand why he had grabbed her until she realized that his daughter was there. And her mother had said that she wasn't there. And so he takes her to where his daughter's at, and he has him grab the mother, and he makes her admit to her daughter what had really happened. And her daughter didn't take that very well. She went off on her mother. Granted, I probably would have done the same thing in the same situation. I mean, like I said from the very beginning, I'm not a very judgmental person. I don't really, you know, I'm one of those people that believes judge not the way that you want to be judged. I technically don't really judge a person. I have my opinions of them. But opinions and judgments are two different things. In this case, I was judging her. The first thing that came into my mind was, what an evil woman. What kind of woman would do this to her daughter and then let her stepfather still live with her, where she knew that the stepfather was molesting her? Anyway, Doctora Ana Pablo let Michael hug his daughter. They put him in handcuffs. They also called the stepfather because in the courtroom, the stepfather admitted to molesting her. So he got arrested as well. So I started off this video saying, as many people, among myself, didn't understand why the judges or the TV courtrooms don't let the litigants approach themselves. This is why. Because anything could happen. One of the litigants could easily grab the judge and persuade them to put a judgment in their favor. And the bailiffs, they can do so much. They don't have weapons. They're there to keep order in the court, but I don't believe that the bailiffs are allowed weapons. There's so much that they can do. But so Caso Cerrado is on Telemundo. If you're interested in watching any of her cases, they're very interesting, and they're a lot more complex because she deals with a lot more serious issues. Like, she deals with rape, she deals with homophobia, she deals with racism. She doesn't deal a lot with, like, oh, well, he sold me a bad car, or he wrecked my apartment. No, her cases are a lot more complex and a lot more difficult. So she's on Telemundo. She's on in the morning. I don't know what time specifically she is on in the morning, but if you think what I've said so far is interesting, go ahead and go watch Telemundo. She's also on the Telemundo app, which is free. You can watch any episode of any show that you want to watch. You don't have to pay a penny. Um, Sorry, I keep saying. Okay, let me check. All right. So, if you're interested in my show, you can find me on Facebook under Jonathan's Room or on my regular profile. I post on both. I also have created a Twitter account, which is Jonah32 2020. So you can find most of Jonathan's Room on that Twitter account as well. You can also find me on YouTube. All you have to do is look up Jonathan's Room, give me a like, give me a comment. You can comment on Facebook. You can retweet on Twitter. Um, I really appreciate you guys watching my show. For the ones that watch it, just make sure to share, and make sure to follow me. This has been Jonathan's Room, where Nerdum rules, enormity jewels. See you next time.